Hi again, everyone. It's Skyplayer Pop Cult Fan here, and today I will be doing a review for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 with the highly anticipated release of the second film this weekend. And let me tell you, when this movie came out, it was just it was a surprise because no one has really heard of these characters before, other than people who have read the comics, of course. But for general moviegoers, no one has ever heard of the Guardians of the Galaxy before. So this movie came as a huge surprise for everyone. And in this movie, it has a really good cast. Let's be honest, because it's got Chris Pratt as Star-Lord. He is an amazing character. He is funny. He has one of the best arcs in the first movie, as well as a lot of the other characters as well. Of course, you got Bradley Cooper as Rocket. You got Vin Diesel as Groot. You got Zoe Saldana as Gamora. You got Dave Bautista as Drax the Destroyer. And yeah, and Thanos, of course, is in the movie, but like in a very minimal sense. So yeah, and it's because the Guardians of the first movie, it does connect a little more with the larger part of the MCU than what this new movie is going to be doing, because this new movie is going to be a lot more self-contained than the first one, because there's that. So there's not going to be as much connective tissue in this new movie coming out. So, I mean, it's interesting the way they're handling that. And, Guardians of the Galaxy, the first movie, it was a really entertaining movie in a lot of ways because you have that awesome soundtrack, Hooked on a Feeling, just a lot of really good songs in that movie. And that definitely sets the tone. And especially that song that played at the beginning of the movie with Chris Pratt, Star Lord, dancing. I forget what the song was called, but it was pretty cool. It set up the tone for the movie, and that was pretty exciting. It was entertaining. And of course, like, as per usual, like, most of the villains in the MCU are kind of lackluster, which is Ronan, in my opinion, is like, yeah, I remembered his name. I mean, yeah, I've seen the movie a couple times, so I remember the villain, but at the same time, it's like, I mean, he's okay. I don't remember the actor's name that plays Ronan, but I mean, he does a fine performance. It's just that he doesn't have he doesn't have any backstory, really, in the first movie. So, I mean, yeah, just that's really like my major complaint about the movie and the MCU in general, is just the villains. But other than that, I mean, the actors just are having the time of their lives in this movie, and you can really tell. And of course, there's a bunch of other supporting characters too, as well, like Glenn Close is part of the Novel Corps. Michael Rooker as Yondu. He was an amazing addition to the first movie, because Michael Rooker, coming off the heels of Merle Dixon from Walking Dead, he can play kind of a. He likes to play characters that are kind of mean, but when he as Yondu, I mean, he's kind of a mean character, but at the same time, he's a good character, and you know what I mean? Because I think Yondu in the comics is one of the original members of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and that's interesting because there are like Easter eggs to the comics in the first movie that have like little cameos of like the original Guardians team from the comics, which is pretty cool to see that if you're a big huge comic book fan. So yeah, and it definitely, like, towards the end, like in the end credits of the first movie, there is, of course, the Collector, who has a bunch of, like, that dog, that space dog. I forget the character's name, but I think that space dog was also part of the original team of the Guardians. And of course, there was Howard the Duck. That was in the post credits, and it was pretty cool. So yeah, definitely an entertaining movie, and definitely a movie that was very magical. Kind of like the very first Star Wars movie. It was very magical, and the universe just kept expanding as the movie went kept going, kind of like the original Star Wars movie did. Because, and again, like Guardians of the Galaxy, it's pretty much a space opera, just like Star Wars, and just with all of mixed and matched elements from some of the other MCU movies, of course. And it's like Star Wars meets Marvel. That's basically what Guardians of the Galaxy is, and it's pretty cool. So yeah, definitely a fun movie. I love the actors. They're all just phenomenal, and I can't wait for the new movie coming out. We're gonna see more of Yondu in the new movie. We're gonna see more of Baby Groot. Speaking of Groot, he's basically like the Chewbacca of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, in my opinion. And then Rocket, Rocket the kind of has like a mix of the Han Solo personality a little bit, kind of a little bit. I mean, he's a really funny character. Rocket is a funny character. They're all funny characters, especially Drax, who I think he'll have more to do in the second film, which is something I'm looking forward to. I've heard, oh, and especially like with some of the new cast in the new movie, I'm definitely looking forward to Kurt Russell as Ego the Living Planet. There's a lot I'm looking forward to in the new movie. So yeah, that's my review for the first movie, Guardians of the Galaxy. I give that an A. I give that movie an A. There are some problems a couple problems I do have with the movie, the villain for the most part, and just in general, like it is very kid friendly. These Guardians movies, because there's a lot of humor, but at the same time, it's kind of crude. It's kind of almost crude humor, but it's interesting in that way. It's definitely like a very humorous film, like more than most of the MCU movies, of course, and especially the new movie is going to be sort of continuing that trend of being very funny. And like another like little problem they do have with the first movie is that you don't really get what the plot of the movie is right away. I mean, it doesn't really have much of a plot. I mean, it does, but I mean, it's a very like simple, like entertaining movie. That's what the first Guardians movie is, and I'm sure that there'll be complaints about this new movie, because I've seen reviews of this new movie, so I'm seeing what people are talking about it. I don't want to say anything here because I don't want to spoil anything, but overall, I mean, the reviews for the new movie are pretty good, so I'm really looking forward to this movie, though. So that's my review, and that was my thoughts of this new movie. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll let you guys know what my next videos will be for tomorrow. Thank you guys for watching. See you all next time. Bye, everyone.